Okay. Setting proper motivation with 3 points. Refuge field, Boddhicitta field, and the purposes of practice. Refuge field. Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the enlightened beings, as so loving, caring, embracing. And Bodhicitta field, your two grandparents, and all of them members including children, and all other demonstration beings. And the purpose of the practice is awaken your Buddha nature. For that, we need to know how to awaken the Buddha nature. But resorting to the wisdom of emptiness, motivated by the great compassionate mind of Boddhicitta, and for which the renunciation, experience of the fears of samsara within yourself, and wanting to get away from this, is the renunciation which is to be generated. With this desire to practice the three principal aspects of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness, complemented by the stability practice of the shamatha, generate a strong wish to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. With this in mind, page 3. And teach with great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach with great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And teach with great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam Loi Chanju Badu Dane Gyabsu Che Tage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Chola Benjire Sanje Dubare Shom Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam Loi Chanju Badu Dane Gyabsu Che Tage Jinso Kebe Sonam Penjiro Sanje Dubara Isho Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam Lo Chanju Badu Dane Gyabsuch Dage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Dola Penjiro Sanje Dubara Isho. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going. No separation, no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme of all teachers, the one who taught this praise features for elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead here to seeking pacification, complete peace, which through the knowledge of paths, courses, sources, helping migrants to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which help subdue has expanded a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, a teacher, Sukha, and protector to your prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines for the forever noble light rays, to you, the Buddha, make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaya Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Etum tesham dathagato hevatat tesham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashamanaya swaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato hyevatat tesham chayo nirodham evam bhati mahashamanaya swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes taught by the Tathagata, the cessation causes as well as taught by the grace here. Profound, peacefully, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite. Such is nectar the Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, and silence or return to words. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unsees, hence nature space. Self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of 3 times appear obeisance. The forces of the Buddha's teachings, all composite things are impermanent, all contaminated things are the nature of suffering, all phenomena are the nature of emptiness, selflessness, transcendent sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha, the Guru source everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expansive billions of eons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the light of Dharma for all bewildered mysteries gloom. Instructions of parting from the 4 attachments. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the will. Okay, today we will read page A59, the Noble Mahana Sutra, Wisdom at the Hour of Death, Wisdom at the Hour of Passing Away, page 59. The message here, so these are things we talk about, say, at the time of death. What should we do? At the time of death with somebody, what should we do? At the time of your own death, preparing your own death, what should we do? So it is not like that we die and that's the end of the story. And this is not the reality. That is more complex than this. Your mind, for example, today you're happy, not happy, is purely mental state. And that's a result of what you were yesterday. Yesterday, your mind came today, and the environment, whatever is today, meet together, and then the mental states arise: happy, unhappiness, heaviness, lightness, whatever. This is the pure mental state. But this is the mind. What your next life, and then the point is that we just vaguely discussed on about the rebirth. We do not really go into depth. And for this, and in fact, Tibet House, we invited Professor Roger Jackson to give a talk on this, because that he translated this Pramanavartika chapter 2 by the Acharya Dharmakirti and explained by the Gyaltsab Rinpoche. Here, the one in the center is Lama Tsongkhapa, and to his right side is Gyaltsab Rinpoche, his first heir. Today we call Gandhenti Rinpoche. He was the first Gandhenti Rinpoche, and his commentary is what Professor Roger Jackson translated, and seems like at the moment it's out of stock. It's not available. In the market is not available now. But I learned that Professor Roger Jackson has been so kind. Whoever is interested to read it, he just gives the soft copies. So, because of this, and then through Pamela, in fact, Pamela raised hand. Yes, through Pamela, I came to know about Roger Jackson, and initially I had no idea about Roger Jackson. Initially, I heard that this book, the Pramana Bharati Chapter 2. In fact, I did not know that Roger Jackson's book existed, translation existed. I did not know that. And one of the PhD students of the Jawahar Nehru University, JNU, Dr. Nilza Omo, when she was doing the PhD, he requested me to teach this text, Pramana Bharati Chapter 2. And I said that because they did not speak Tibetan. So I said, bring the text in English, then I'll teach. And even she did not have any clue about the Professor Roger Jackson's book. She was waiting. Again, she made the same request several times. And finally, particularly according to the Mahayana teachings, if somebody make a request, somebody who is particularly genuinely asking you for some teachings, and if you declined simply because of any other reason, so your personal reasons, this is not considered too great. It can hamper your bodhicitta growth. So it so coincided that I was sitting for my personal retreat, and that this thought of this girl making this request, and this related to her PhD thesis. And I was sitting for the retreat, so this mind came to me, and I just felt that, okay, may or may not be out of compassion, but for sure, if I don't, I see that bodhicitta practice, this is so important for me. So of course, I have no clue what the bodhicitta, the real experience is like, but at least I love this practice. I value this practice. It's so precious. So therefore, if I don't comply with somebody who made the request for all these years, and then what is my bodhicitta practice? It doesn't make any sense. And then with all these, the feelings combined together made me take a decision that in my retreats, the mornings I sit for my personal retreat, in the afternoon I do the translation. So for like 20 days, every afternoon I was constantly translating this text, and in the mornings I did my own retreat, and then afternoon I spent translating this text. And then in about like 20 days, the first draft completed, not knowing that Professor Roger Jackson's translation existed. And then I started to teach on the basis of this translation. And suddenly I didn't know there's one book, right? What you translated? And who's this guy? Roger Jackson, right? And then usually my style is that unless I'm very confident, I read the book, I'm confident, then I recommend. So I stayed very neutral, not knowing Professor Roger Jackson. And then they say I do not talk about it at all. And that I did mention that there's this book, but I have no comment on this. And later on, Pamela, I came to know that it was Pamela's husband, and Pamela was already into this, and Pamela maintained Roger Jackson under a thick curtain, kept not exposing him to me, not telling me that it is Professor Roger Jackson, her husband, who did the work. She did not tell me anything. She attended my retreats in Kalachakra in France. And she did not disclose that at all. after a while, something was coming. A personal letter from Roger Jackson was coming. Personal letter. This usually is very unusual. Personal letter coming to me in my name. And okay, there's a personal letter coming. So it's very unusual. So there's like a personal touch coming. I really appreciate it. And later I came to discover that it was actually through Pamela. And then through this and the letter, it was so heartwarming from Professor Roger Jackson, saying that your students from anywhere in the world, if they're interested to use my book, you can freely use this. What Professor Rogers said. And then this year, Pamela again wrote to me saying that the Roger and I, two of us, are coming for the retreat. How come such a big scholar is coming to my retreat? And then actually meeting them, I said that first, before coming to retreat, you have to give a talk in Tibet house. So this was the condition. And then we were supposed to be meeting because of some health issues and so forth. We could not meet, and finally we met. And then meeting, Pamela I already know since many years. Professor Roger Jackson, first time meeting, I was extremely impressed. Not only scholarly knowledge, but the spiritual bent of mind. This is so rare. Somebody with a big scholarship, scholarly knowledge, plus a spiritual bent of mind is so rare. I was so impressed. So we are so lucky to have Professor Roger with us, Pamela with us. We are so lucky. Okay, so okay. So what I'm saying is that at the time of death, what should we be doing? We have to know all these things. And that there are so many practices from the different traditions, from the Chinese tradition, from Theravada tradition, from within Tibetan tradition, Sakya, Kagyu, Nyingma, different traditions are there. And usually my take is more on what the Buddha actually taught. And meanwhile, don't keep show blind eye to these different traditions. Don't show blind eye. You have to learn what is taught in Sakya, what is taught in Nyingma, what is taught in Kagyu, what is taught in Gilo, what is taught in Theravada tradition, what is taught in Chinese tradition, Vietnamese tradition, or Korean traditions, Japanese traditions, so forth. Learn all these things, and then see how the root is the Buddha. See how all these that you learn from different traditions, we can take it to the Buddha's teaching. So here, this is from the Buddha. In fact, one time is very interesting. Why I'm sharing this is that some of us may have the feeling that, okay, so now I heard that the Boddhicitta retreat, and you come here, now you get some idea what it's like. Oh, now I heard there's another retreat, so it may be better there. So this says, many people, this is what they do. So what I'm saying is, you can do whatever you like. Make sure that you don't waste your life. You don't waste your time. So then what do you do? Always, if you are interested in Buddha's teachings, say, whatever you learn from different traditions, and then go to the Buddha's own teachings. Identify the Buddha's own teachings. Then you'll be very confident that, okay, so find all these teachings, somehow this is the main thing, the Buddha. So this is what the Buddha taught. So here, one time what happened was that there was one of my relatives, a distant relative. He was very pious. And then, very pious. He gets up so early in the morning, like 3 o'clock, and do his practice. Recitations, mantras for 2 hours, 3 hours, and then his daily job. One day he came to me. This is very important message for all of us, for you and for me. He said that, okay, Geshe, the last 20 years I've been practicing Buddhism, but the same person 20 years ago and the same person today, there's no difference. This person has never improved. What emotions earlier, 20 years ago, same emotion, anger, attachment, craving, jealousy, whatever, is just the same. There's no change. The last 20 years, there's no change. Where did it go wrong? I've been practicing Buddhism for the last 20 years. Chanting, reading, mantra recitation, getting early, pilgrimage, all these things doing, but no transformation within me. Where did it go wrong? This is what he said. Then I told him, you do one thing. You just give me a list of whatever you're doing. Then he gave me a whole big list, long list of what prayers that he's doing and so forth. I cut them off, most of the things. I told him, only keep only those things which you received as a commitment from your guru. Whatever empowerment and so forth, whatever you said that this I'm going to do as my commitment. And the Guru said you have to do this if you take this teaching or empowerment. So those things I cannot cut. This is between you and your Guru. The rest I said that delete. Now all what you've been doing, all these, you can put them all together in three principal aspects of the path. Renunciation, Boddhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness, and shamatha meditation. Then I taught what is renunciation, what is Boddhicitta, what is wisdom of emptiness, how to do shamatha meditation. I taught him, and then both of us, we went for 1 month retreat. He was sitting in his own retreat hut, I was sitting in my own retreat hut, and every day we meet 1 hour. And the good thing is that he cooks for me. I get delicious meal. So besides this, no meeting. He do his own practice, I do my own practice. After 1 month, he just came out with glowing joy. He said that 1 month of the practice is way more meaningful than the last 20 years of getting up early. 20 years into 365 into 4-5 hours every day. Through 1 month retreat, this study, and then this getting a good picture of what the Buddhist teaching should be like. That is way more meaningful than the last 20 years of Dhamma practice. It's all because ignorance. In ignorance, we see that we think that we are doing Dharma. In actuality, you are just doing something very shallow. So core is missing. So here, the Noble Mahana Sutra, wisdom at the hour of the passing away. So this is the core, the essence taught by the Buddha himself. So let's slowly read this by contemplating the meaning. And if possible, if anybody who talks about at the time of death, what should I do? Each one of us, we should prepare ourselves. Prepare ourselves of say, what the Buddha taught. Don't wait till the last day of a breath. Don't wait till the last day. From today on, read this, contemplate, remember these points, and once emptiness and Boddhicitta, these two are there with you very clearly, you see that all things that you should do at the time of death is related to Boddhicitta, wisdom, emptiness. Let's read this, what the Buddha taught. Okay, with this mind, let's read this slowly. It's a very short text, it's not a long text. The Noble Mahana Sutra, wisdom, okay, page 59. Page 59. The Noble Mahana Sutra, wisdom at the hour of death. Okay, and you may be wondering, how did they get this text? There are more than 100 volumes of the Buddha's teachings, huge volumes. From there, how did they extract this? Just one page. Not because of my greatness. It was one time when I was with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, when His Holiness was editing a book. book of His Holiness Dalai Lama, and I was also there, present. Then His Holiness was constantly referring to this source, and I was so curious, constantly referring to this source. Very short, referring to this source, and then I checked where I can get this. Of course, it's there in the Kanjur set. Then I found this, and I read it full in Tibetan. I found that this must go in this book. The Blaze of Non-Dual Boddhicitta, this must go in this book. And then I was looking for the translation. If I do my translation, I'm not a native English speaker, so therefore my translation would not be that beautiful. So this must be translated by a native English speaker with a good command of the language. So I was checking, and I found that it was Ruth Sonam. Ruth, who is an Israeli, and the student of the most venerable Geshe Sonam Rinchen. Pamela, you received teaching from Geshe Sonam Rinchen? You met him? Yes. Roger? No. Pamela? No. Okay. Geshe Sonam Rinchen, again, another great Bodhisattva. Brilliant scholar, plus a great, beautiful heart, amazing. Okay, many stories. Don't feel sad that you have never met with these brilliant masters. Don't worry. You have His Holiness the Dalai Lama, amazing, the sun of the whole world. Okay, so what happened was that I came to know that there's a translation by Ruth Sonam, and her English is beautiful. And not only English, accuracy of the translation. This is the key. Accuracy of translation. Then the language. Then with her, I'm very confident in the accuracy of the subject matter. Her knowledge is so good. It has many long stories. So I was so glad that the translation already existed. I don't really have to work to request somebody, or I do my own translation, then go through series of editorial work. Okay, so here we are. Let's read this together. Homage to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Thus did ahead one time, while the Blessed One was residing in the palace of the King of the Gods in Akanishta realm. He taught the Dhamma to the entire assembly. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva Akashagarbha then paid homage to the Blessed One and asked, Blessed One, how should we think about the mind of a Bodhisattva who is about to die? The Blessed One replied, Akashagarbha, when a Bodhisattva is about to die, he should cultivate the wisdom of the hour of death. The wisdom of the hour of death is as follows. Okay, let's so say in English, generally speaking, there's no choice. He, this pronoun, he, usually people, when there's this reference to the person is required, then it is said he. But actually it can be, it is neutral, the gender neutral in the Tibetan source. Gender neutral in the Tibetan source. But in English you have to specify something, without which it doesn't make sense. So, safer would be say they. It can become gender neutral. So let's read this once more. Thus did ahead one time, when the Blessed One was to reside in the palace of the King of the Gods in the Akanishta realm. He taught the Dhamma to the entire assembly. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva Akashagarbha then paid homage to the Blessed One and asked, Blessed One, how should we think about the mind of a Bodhisattva who is about to die? The Blessed One replied, Akashagarbha, when a Bodhisattva is about to die, they should cultivate the wisdom of the hour of death. The wisdom of the hour of death is as follows. Okay, now look, this is the main message from the Buddha. All phenomena are naturally pure, so one should cultivate the clear understanding that there are no entities. All phenomena are subsumed within the mind of enlightenment. A mind of enlightenment is Boddhicitta. So one should cultivate the clear understanding of great compassion. All phenomena are naturally luminous, so one should cultivate the clear understanding of non-apprehension. All entities are impermanent, so one should cultivate the clear understanding of non-attachment to anything whatsoever. When one realizes the mind, this is wisdom, so one should cultivate the clear understanding of not seeking Buddha elsewhere. The Blessed One then spoke the following verses. Since all phenomena are naturally pure, one should cultivate the clear understanding that there are no entities. Since all phenomena are connected with the enlightened mind, one should cultivate the clear understanding of the great compassion. Since all phenomena are naturally luminous, one should cultivate a clear understanding of non-apprehension. Since all entities are impermanent, one should cultivate a clear understanding of non-attachment. Since the mind is the cause for the arising of wisdom, do not look for the Buddha elsewhere. After the Blessed One had spoken, the whole assembly, including the Bodhisattva, Akashagarbha, and others, were overjoyed and full of praise for the Buddha's words. This concludes the Noble Mind Sutra, Wisdom at the Hour of Death. Okay, so here the Buddha responded that since all phenomena are naturally pure, I'm reading from the fifth last line from page 59. Since all phenomena are naturally pure meaning not pure in the sense of clean, not in terms of cleanliness, it is the pure in the form of absence. So from the absence of dirt, absence of garbage, this is what we call pure. Absence of garbage, absence of dirt. So it's the absence of true existence, absence of objective existence. This is the meaning of the purity, that everything is pure or absent of true existence or objective existence. One should cultivate the clear understanding that there are no entities, there are no objective entities. Objective entities. Okay. And if the objective is to be added, why the Buddha did not add it directly? Why? This is a question. You're getting it? Why the Buddha knows everything. Buddha is all knower. So why did the Buddha not add this directly? Why we have to add it later? So this is what the Buddha explained here is with respect to somebody who is actually experiencing emptiness directly. So for that person's mind is, person's mind is Sunamale. Person's mind is anyone? Person's mind is anyone? Can you say something from what you learned in this class? Natalie. Clear knowing. Anyone else? Yes, Leon? Ultimate analysis, very good. Thank you. You getting it? Ultimate analysis. When you are non-dual experience emptiness, your mind takes the form of ultimate analysis, not conventional analysis. You getting it? So in the ultimate analysis, flower exists, not exists. Flower doesn't make any sense. You getting it? All these functionalities, conventionalities which exist in conventional analysis, they don't exist in the ultimate analysis. For the ultimate analysis, all the entities dissolve. This is the meaning of there are no entities with respect to the ultimate analysis. You are getting it? It doesn't mean that there's no entity. This is from the point of view of the ultimate analysis perspective. Armin, you got it? What is that? That the entities are empty. So it's not that the entities are empty. Entities exist. Entities exist with respect to conventional analysis. So here, I say, I had breakfast. So yesterday we went to Rajgir. It was a very beautiful day. Lananda, very beautiful day, right? And the eyes become closer towards the end. Eyes become closer towards the end, and then many hours of coming back, becoming dark, traffic jam, and then morning very tired. I'll rest for 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours sleep extra. I'll not go to the morning practice. He will exempt it. Right, he'll exempt it. He understands it. He's very kind. Right, he will not indicate that we do not come. He understands, right? No issue from him. You know that, right? Okay. Why did I say this? Okay. So all these exist where? Hey, Armin, all this exists where? Anesthesia. All these functionalities exist where? To which mind? Hey, relative or better word would be, many people translate it as relative. So better word would be conventional.
Hello.
Okay. In Russian language, is there a word for convention? Which means Leon should, the dictionary should be changed a little bit. Or it should add it. Convention and both words should be there. Right? So, Nastia said? Relative or conventional?
She said relative.
Okay, so better would be to use word conventional. Because relative, it is a very nuance. Many people, they cannot distinguish between what is relative and what is conventional. Many people. Because with the relativity, understanding, it is its own depth. Its own depth of understanding. But when you say conventional, it's connotation subjectivity. Relativity also has subjectivity meaning. But we should be able to use the label. For example, subjective is coming from the mind. Subjective, the analysis. Ultimate analysis. You're getting it? Okay. Okay. So, what we were saying, that all these conventions that we went yesterday, it was very fruitful, a little tired, rested. And so this all exists on the conventional level or relative level. On the relative level or the conventional level. Now the Buddha is talking with respect to when you're about to die. When you're about to die, don't be influenced by your self-grasping ignorance, which sees things as absolute, which sees things as ultimate. Don't be influenced by that. Make sure that your mind is influenced by the wisdom to see everything, as well as you are looking at things, experiencing things from the perspective of the ultimate analysis. You're getting it? Where entities dissolve. So this is, since all phenomena are natural pure, one should cultivate the clear understanding that there are no entities. Since all phenomena are connected with an enlightened mind. So here, in English, if you translate the meanings too much, the original concept may disappear in English. Because, say, in English, enlightened, this is so commonly used. Mind is so commonly used. So enlightened mind, people may think that, a compassionate person. Whereas it means the Changchup Sem. Enlightened is the Changchup. And say, the enlightened mind, say if you really to bring it back to the original Tibetan, it is like the Changchup Sem. Changchup Sem. Changchup Sem may not be Boddhicitta. Changchup Sem is Boddhicitta. Changchup Sem may not be Boddhicitta. A mind which is enlightened. Mind which is enlightened may not be Boddhicitta. Even though all Buddha's minds, they are mind of enlightenment. So, with the English translation, on the one hand, English is a very rich language. There's so much physical. Enlightened mind, mind of enlightenment. In the ears of ordinary people, these two mean the same. Enlightened mind and mind of enlightenment. But when you go into the nuances, with the meanings, the deeper meanings, if you understand it, you see there's a difference between enlightened mind and mind of enlightenment. Mind of enlightenment refers to Boddhicitta. Bodhicitta is very specifically defined. A mind which aspires to become Buddha, which aspires to become enlightened for the benefit of sentient beings. This is the mind of enlightenment. Enlightened mind is a mind which is enlightened, which is awakened. So there's so nuanced the difference between the two. So therefore, usually, in the way I prefer, when I translate, what I do is that the words which are commonly understood in the world of amongst the native English speakers, where the word Boddhicitta, if it is commonly understood, I keep it as Boddhicitta. So the confusion will not happen. Okay. So since all phenomena are connected with the Boddhicitta, one should cultivate the clear understanding of great compassion. Say that finally, that your bodhicitta can embrace everybody, will not leave aside anyone. You will embrace everyone. And that for you is the maximum happiness. And this is the root is compassion. So therefore don't separate yourself from the compassion. At time of death, don't separate yourself from compassion. Always, even at the closer towards death, just see if you can think of compassion towards other beings. And think of the emptiness nature. From the ultimate analysis point of view, these things are all like dreams, empty of objective reality. These two things, very important. The next, since all phenomena are naturally luminous, one should cultivate the clear understanding of non-apprehension. Say, the light we cannot grab. Rainbow we cannot grab. Because the rainbow has the element of the luminosity. Rainbow is nothing. But the light, say broken apart by the prism. But the prism of the vapor, what are vapors? The sunlight, which is white, split into 7 different colors. And then you say rainbow. So this is just a color, it's light. We cannot grasp a rainbow. So everything is the nature of one's own mind. For example, I see this beautiful red flower, and the beautiful gomba. So all these things, it is nothing but made of colors and shapes. And the shapes also, we can see the shape on the basis of the color. Finally, what connects my mind to the object is the colors. The colors. So, say for example, say this one. We see it's a white. A square why? Why square? Because the color reflected. White color is reflected from a specific position, not beyond this. So we see this as the square shape. So even what we see is the shapes. What we see is the color. And the shapes are nothing but a manifestation of the colors. And these colors, external colors, they are not actually external colors. These are the colors of your own mind. For example, some people have color blindness. For them, objects without color, that's reality. For us, objects with color is the reality. And who's true? There's no object reality there. It's your perception. Because your perception means it's purely subjective. So therefore, even the colors that you see, outside colors, they are nothing but the radiance of one's own mind. One's mind radiates in the form of the different colors and shapes. Okay, Thomas, just wait, listen, because when you're raising your hand, you're not listening. Okay, so that everything, even external colors, they are the radiance of one's own mind. Even the music is also radiance of one's own mind. One's mind comes in the play of the music. How? For us, a beautiful music that we play, Om Ye Dharma, right? Or say Michael Jackson's music, Michael Jackson's song. For a dog, it's very noisy. It's not music. What is this? Throwing one's hand here, there, and like this. What is this? It's crazy. And for people who are already gotten used to that, accustomed to that, this amazing dance. What is this? Rock star? What is it? Rock star? What is it? Pop king of pops. Right? King of pops. Huh? Okay, don't worry. Don't go into details. Right? Okay, Jigmar is about going into details. No, you go into details. Okay. Pop star, rock star, Roller Royce, what? Metallica. Oh. Okay. So what I'm saying is that even this music, physical movements, music, even they are the conventions. These conventions coming from your mind. Mind radiates in the form of these musics. Or noise. Not only music, even the noise. Smell. Good smell. Bad smell. What is good smell for the human beings may not be good smell for the animals. What is good smell for the animals may not be good smell for the human beings. Say, person A liked by person B, hated by person C. Smell of person A is so appealing to person A, so disgusting to person C. You agree? Even the smell is a radiance of one's own mind. So we see that it says, and then what is the radiance? Radiance has the connotation of the luminosity. Luminosity. The radiance has connotation of luminosity. So it says that since all phenomena are naturally luminous, what we say external is not actually external, it's all coming to manifest in one's own mind. One should cultivate a clear understanding of non-apprehension. We cannot apprehend things. We cannot grab at the rainbow because it's luminous. So everything is just the luminosity of one's own mind. So don't apprehend, no grasping. Really let go of your grasping. And finally, since all entities are impermanent, one should cultivate a clear understanding of non-attachment. Say impermanence. So we cherish our body so much. We cherish our body so much. For example, say people crazy. Say people go for all modification of one's own body to make one's body attractive. Boys, girls, irrespective. Right? Changing your eyes, changing your nose, changing everything. Crazy. Okay. So we didn't remember that our body is impermanent. We are impermanent. I'm impermanent. You are impermanent. So with this, then there are very specific practices. Initial taught by the Buddha, that remember impermanence. This is the root thought the Buddha taught. And now the practitioners, experienced practitioners, they take this teaching of the Buddha and then put it in different forms to make it relevant and powerful to their own personal context. Some yogis, they practice impermanence to such extreme where many of us cannot do that. You visualize yourself as you go to the cemetery. You go to the cemetery. You go to the graveyards in the nights. A cemetery where people's body, they are cut into pieces, given to the vultures, so forth. You go there, and then you spend the night there. And it's very eerie. And they say the spirits of many of the deads may be hovering around that place, and some spirits can be extremely harmful, some can be neutral. And when your mind knows that these things are there, your mind may be able to in a position to even hear the eerie sounds of these spirits. And at times you may even be, say, hallucinating because of the fear, because of the attachment to self, and the fear all because of the attachment to self-grasping, ignorance. So there, the great masters, taking this teaching of Buddha, impermanence, take it and then give a little bit of different the packaging. Like, for example, there's the teaching where it says that you just visualize that you cut your skull and use this as your the ball, and imagine you cut your limbs and put them in the skull, and imagine that you are placing it there. So for you, the most cherished objects are your own body, and that you cut out of deliberately to cut your attachment to the body. And then you visualize them in the form of the radiance of one's mind, the radiance of the Boddhicitta and wisdom of emptiness. And then offer this. Don't offer your dirty body to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, but see the dirty bodies is nothing but the play of one's own mind as dirty. There's no objective dirtiness there. So the ultimate reality is the manifestation of the ultimate reality, truth. Ultimate truth in the form of, say, the vast expanse of emptiness. That emptiness experience from the blissful state. And then this manifested, this what you are offering, which otherwise you're so attached to, is seen as offering. Essence offering in the manifestation of wisdom of emptiness imbued with the spirit of Boddhicitta and the bliss. And you make offering to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. So all these teachings based on the Buddha's teaching on impermanence, and then teaching on the luminosity nature, teaching on the emptiness nature, teaching on compassion. So look, all these four combined together, then the great Tibetan masters, Indian masters, earlier past masters, they then put them in one particular system, practice, which is so relevant to us to make us be detached from this. And whereas for those people who find it too obnoxious, this practice, too obnoxious, I cannot really think of doing my, say, cutting my limbs and putting it there, my blood and so forth. This is, no, I cannot do this. If this is where you feel really deep aversion, then of course you have a different set of practice. Just think of the impermanence in general, not go to these. For those people, and Buddha himself is not just the, say, normally, but the Buddha himself made it very clear. For example, for the monastics, they are the 12 trainings the Buddha taught, 12 trainings to spend whole your life under tree rather than in a proper house. No matter what weather, cold, heat, sun, rain, just the tree is the dwelling. But Buddha categorically taught that those people who have the tendency for aversion, for agitation, aversion, easily feeling irritated or agitated, for those people the Buddha said, don't do that. Better go back to your proper shelter. Buddha's teaching is very, very practical and realistic. Don't simply because that this is what the Buddha taught doesn't mean that you have to do it. Because Buddha gave many teachings depending on your temperament, your mental predispositions. Okay, these are things that we remember. So with this in mind, okay, so let us turn to page 59 once more, and the 7th line from the bottom. The Blessed One then spoke the following verse. We'll read this once more. And then see if you can practice this on a daily basis. Recite this on a daily basis and see if you can contemplate on these on daily basis. Okay. The Blessed One then spoke okay, let's read together. The Blessed One then spoke the following verses. Since all phenomena are natural, pure, one should cultivate the clear understanding that there are no entities. Since all phenomena are connected with an enlightened mind, cultivate the clear understanding of great compassion. Since all phenomena naturally luminous, one should cultivate a clear understanding of non-apprehension. Since all entities are impermanent, one should cultivate a clear understanding of non-attachment. Since the mind is the cause for the arising of wisdom, do not look for the Buddha elsewhere. Okay, look, we talked about the Buddha nature all these days. That your full awakening, the Buddha inside, is already there within us. You don't have to look for the Buddha from outside. So just remove the dirt, and the Buddha inside manifests. This is what we've been saying the few days. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I remember the first time I heard this was from His Holiness during the public teaching that that Acharya Nagabodhi, one of the students of Arinagarjuna, he cited him that he said, Chanju Sugyam Sumai, Chanju Sugyam Jimai, Sugyani Sumai, Rancho Yonso Shebale, Tela Sange Sange Ju. This is a Tibetan form. Chanju Sugyam Jimai, Sugyani Sumai, Rancho Yonso Shebale, Tela Sange Sange Ju. So, this was originally taught by the Buddha himself, and then later commented upon and also used by the Indian masters like Acharya Nagabodhi, who said that enlightenment, which is Buddhahood, the full awakening, your treasure, ultimate treasure, happiness, your enlightenment is not bestowed upon you by anyone. It's not bestowed upon you by anyone. nor the cause of the enlightenment is held by anyone, held by someone for you. This is not true. Number 3, it is through you discovering the Buddha nature inside that you become a Buddha. Let me repeat it. Buddhahood or enlightenment is not bestowed upon you by anyone. It's not bestowed upon you by anyone. Nor is the cause of enlightenment being held by someone for you. It is only through discovering your own Buddha nature inside that you become a Buddha. Becoming a Buddha is becoming a rich person. So they say you have a treasure underneath your simple hut. You have a treasure, a huge, massive treasure underneath the ground of your simple hut. So this treasure nobody will give you. Nobody is holding the secret of a treasure. It is you have to discover that there's a treasure underneath your ground. The moment you discover that there's a treasure underneath, you detect the treasure underneath the ground, you become the richest person. You getting it? So the Buddhahood is not bestowed upon you by anyone, nor is the cause of Buddhahood being held by somebody for you. It is only through you discovering your own Buddha nature that you become enlightened. Okay, this is the statement. So this is exactly what the Buddha taught here. Now we are reading the sutra. So in the sutra it says, since the mind is the cause for the arising of wisdom, that mind within you, your mind arises in the form of wisdom. So with this wisdom dispels the darkness, dispels the obscurations, and the purity inside manifests. That is the Buddhahood. Do not look for the Buddhahood elsewhere. Do not look for your Buddhahood elsewhere. It is within you. Whatever religion that you're following, whatever belief system that you have, whatever gender, you all have the awakening inside. And this must be discovered. Only when you discover that, then you become the awakened one. You experience the total fearlessness, the infinite happiness. Okay. Now, the Boddhicitta. So this mind, which is most beautiful mind, I like to begin this teaching on Boddhicitta by sharing an anecdote of Damdul. You see here the Buddha, and to the right side of Buddha there is the Choja Pande Adisha Devamagari Shri Gyana, the great master Adisha Devamagari Shri Gyana. And to his left side, right side, is Damdul without the head. Damdul. In fact, I'd like to share something very brief about him. And the whole corpus of teaching on Boddhicitta, of course, it already existed since 7th century AD in Tibet, but something which became so alive, more vibrant, I would say more vibrant, happened with Lama Adisha Devamagari Shri Gyana's the visit to Tibet at the request of Lama Yeshu, the great Bodhisattva who passed away in prison, arrested by somebody who was totally anti-Buddha's teachings. A king there, he arrested the Tibetan king, and not as a king then, but as a descendant of the king. He was arrested and imprisoned. And why he was arrested? Because that king, the teachings of Buddha, that king, he came to sense that this descendant of the king from Tibet, he came for fundraising to invite Lama Adisha Devamagari Shri Gyana from India to Tibet. And because that king was against Buddha's teachings, he just arrested him and imprisoned him. Lama Yeshu. And his nephew who is more audacious, very daring, then went to meet his uncle in the prison. And the nephew said that I can easily wage war against this king and finish this off and release you. I can easily do that. But if you do that, you will be, my uncle, you will be very unhappy because you have a Boddhicitta spirit. You have the compassion spirit. You don't want me to kill people. I can easily finish this king off and release you. But you will not be happy. So I don't want to do that. Now I'm thinking of giving him some ransom, so that he will release you. So he was gathering the gold to release his uncle. And finally, when he was got enough gold, he went to the uncle to reassure him that now I have enough gold, I'm going to release you very soon by giving this gold as a ransom to this king, to this unruly king. And this uncle, what did he say? Halama Ishu. And the nephew is Halama Changchubu. Uncle is Halama Ishu. And Halama Ishu said that Halama Ishu was so pleasantly surprised, extremely pleasantly surprised, that you were brought up, in the English expression, you are brought up with a silver spoon in your mouth, meaning that you are brought up as a very pampered child. I can't expect that you are taking such a huge responsibility. Now my mind is at ease. I see that now you are taking the responsibility. Now you don't think of giving even a single piece of gold to this king. You don't have to release me. Even if you release me, I don't know Dharma at all. What can I do to the Dharma? It's just waste of the resources. So even if I'm released, I will live for another few years. I'm already old. No point. Don't give this money. Don't give this gold. Don't waste this gold. Take this gold to India and invite Lama Adishi Dimgarishri Jnana. This is whole purpose for me, and you're doing this. So now my job is done. I'm so glad. I think he passed away in the prison. And because the uncle is extremely strong in his willpower is very strong, he was so relaxed to see that his nephew is taking this whole charge. So the nephew, he recruited brilliant people from Tibet, and particularly there was one great scholar and also translator, Naksolo Zawa, who actually was trained in India already and came to Tibet and became a teacher there. So this Halama Changjube, he requested this Naksolo Zawa, the translator Naksolo Zawa, to sit on a throne. Then Halama Changjube is like the descendant of the king. The tradition, wherever in the world, the king will not prostrate to the ordinary people. How many agree with me? In the olden times, king will never prostrate to the ordinary people. Ordinary people should prostrate, respect the king. So this Halama Chanju, who was the descendant of the king, he prostrated to Naksolo Zawa, who was just an ordinary person. And then he requested, please you take the lead. You take the lead to take this group of the people, scholars, to India and invite Lama Dishita Shri Jnana. And Naksolo Zawa was freaked. He freaked. You know why? He said, no, I cannot accept this work because I know what it is, what does it mean for me to take all the risk to my life going from Tibet to India, no aeroplane. That was 1,000 years ago, no aeroplane, no cars, no road. You have to go, you have to cut all the terrains, the forests, the wild animals, burglars, mafias. You have to cross all these, and meanwhile your food on your back, all the gold coins on your back, everything. He just freed. He said, no sir, I cannot do that. Just even the thought of the way to India, from Tibet to India, even just the mere thought of this way, that the traumas that I went through, I can't imagine going there again. Then Lama Changju, he again made prostrations. He prostrated to him, saying that you know the value of the dharma, Buddha dharma. I don't know the value of dharma. I am such a ignorant person with respect to dharma. You are such an enlightened person, our dharma. You know the value of dharma. Actually, you should be the one to tell me what to do. I'm requesting you. If you people who know the value of dharma, if you don't take the responsibility, then what happened to the dharma? This is what he said. You are the people who know the dharma so well. You should be taking the responsibility. So I'm prostrating to you. Usually kings are not supposed to prostrate to ordinary people. I'm prostrating to you, because my respect for you, that you are learned master of the Buddha dharma. Then Naksola Zawa, he had to accept it. He accepted. So the story is actually with the Damdul June, this great teacher. So Naksola Zawa, heading the group, headed towards India. And the road was extremely difficult. You have to cross the rivers, very ferocious, powerful rivers. Wild, the wilderness, wild animals are there, the burglars are there, you have to cross. And one time, in the night, they found one place where they have to cross a river. And it was already dark, and when you get a boat. So, they began to desperate, they started to sleep in that open area. Now Solosawa and his team. Suddenly, a stranger came and said that, how dare you are sleeping in my area, in my territory. You cannot sleep here. You have to leave. And they were all forced to leave. Where to leave? They have to cross the river. How do you cross the river? It's dark, no boat. Suddenly, there was one man, on the boatman, coming, reciting, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme Hum. Then, they said, hey, boatman, would you be happy to take us to the other shore? Boatman said, yes, come. And the boatman took them there. Later on, they come to discover that this place was the place which was actually frequented by the burglars. So this man was actually the emanation of Damdul Gyevajune, the student of Lama Dishidam emanation, and he's just given the facade as though like he's angry to shove them off, to send them off, saying that you cannot stay here. Actually, this is frequented by burglars. To protect them from being attacked by the burglars, he shoved them off. And the boatman who was saying Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme, what is Om Mani Padme Hum? Mantra of Are Avarugitishvara, Bodhisattva of compassion. And Damdul Gyevajune is considered as the emanation of Ara Avarugitishvara. So Damdul Gyevajune, against the emanation, as a boatman, Om Mani Padme Hum, to take them to the other side. Then finally they reached India, Nalanda. And they were looking for Boddhicitta Rishi. And of course, in those days, Lama Boddhicitta Rishi, great scholar from Vikramshila University, trained in Vikramshila University, but they are great scholars that are being accepted in the different universities. For example, like the great teachers, for example, like from my monastery, IBD, and from Damdul Monastery, my teacher for the Damdul, he's been invited in the other monasteries, big monasteries, monastery universities, invited by other monastery universities to give teaching. So this is some practice. So Lama Boddhicitta happened to be in the Nalanda. And the Tibetans, they came with a very different dress. They came, and a very elderly man came and asked, you look very strange, you're not from this place. Tell me, you're from, where you're from? They said, we came from Tibet. Look, this is Tibetan. We came from Tibet. What for you came here? We came to invite Lama Atishi Dipangara Shri Gyana. And this old man said that Tibetans, they don't have a knot at their throat. Listen, Tibetans don't have a knot at the throat. Knot means this. If there's a knot, then what is inside will not come out. If there's a knot, from the heart, you have some secrets. To Imad Lama Adisha, it will not come out of your mouth. But Tibetans don't have knot at the throat. So therefore, whatever is there, secret all come out. Right? We came here to invite Lama Adisha Dipangara Shri Gyana. So this old man said that Tibetans don't have a knot at their throat, and he disappeared. He was the emanation of Damdul Gyue. Again, a little boy, little monk came, very small monk came. Have you seen small monks in the various monasteries? Very small little monk came, and hey, where are you from? Again they said, we are from Tibet. What for you came here? We came to invite Lama Adisha Dipangara Shri Gyana. The little boy said the same thing, that Tibetans don't have a knot at their throat, and he disappeared. It's again an emanation of Damdul Gyue to learn how to keep secrets. You're correct. Why to keep secret? Because Lama Adisha Dipangara Shri Gyana in India was an extremely prolific scholar, elucidated, illustrative the scholar, a top-notch scholar. Indians would not allow him to go to Tibet. They also need such scholars, such masters. So if they know that Tibetans are inviting him, they will not allow him to go. So therefore they were made to keep it very confidential, and meanwhile keep exploring who is Lama Adisha Dipangara Shri Gyana. They had no clue who is Lama Adisha Dipangara Shri Gyana. So days, weeks passed by, still not knowing, forget about inviting. They even did not have any clue who Lama Adisha Dipangara Shri Gyana was. So one day, this leader of this group, who was that? Nakso Losawa. And he speaks Hindi. So he was reciting the Heart Sutra in Sanskrit, which Professor Roger and Pamela did yesterday. And so when all the monks were passing by, he was just resting on the side, and he was reciting Heart Sutra in Sanskrit. This Tibetan, the leader of the team, reciting Heart Sutra. And all the monks passed by him. There was one monk who stopped by and told him, oh, so of course, this monk saw him as somebody from the foreigner, not Indian. Then this monk said that you are reciting Heart Sutra so well, but there's a little mistake in your pronunciation. He corrected the pronunciation, and then this master left. And Nakso Losawa, this translator, he was so desperate. He had the whole responsibility to invite Lama Adisha Dipangara Shri Gyana, and not even knowing who Lama Adisha Dipangara Shri. Then he said that, never mind, it doesn't matter. Even if we cannot invite Lama Adisha Dipangara Shri Gyana, look, already a few weeks passed, still we had no clue who Lama Adisha Dipangara Shri Gyana is. If we cannot invite Lama Adisha Dipangara Shri Gyana, never mind, I'll invite this monk. This monk is greatly learned, and he has very good heart. I'll invite him to Tibet. Then later on, it so happened that it was Lama Adisha Dipangara Shri Gyana who stopped. Okay, then finally, somehow they came to know about Then one day, they was thinking all the monks were coming together in a, say, like a congregation. And the Tibetan group team headed by Nakso Losawa, they were still on the side to observe. From there, now there's a chance for them to see Lama Adisha Dipangara Shri Gyana. So all the monks sat down. Then one very senior monk came, and all the monks were bowing. All the monks, thousands of monks, they were bowing down. And then they thought that he must be Lama Dishita Srigyana. Asked, who is this monk? Who is this master? I said, oh, this is the great master Metipa. Metipa. Okay, again their heart sank. Again it's no Lama Disha. Again another teacher came. Again everybody bowing down. Now this must be the one. This must be the one. Again asked, is this Lama Disha? They said, no. Who is he? He is the great teacher Naropa. Right? So like the several monks, several teachers came, and every monk, they were bowing down, and they, to their dismay. It was all different teachers, not Lama Dishita Mungshi. Finally, the one monk with a bunch of keys, like this, like the storekeeper, store watchman, storekeeper, with a bunch of keys for all the stores, no master key. So a bunch of keys, chalak, 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 he was coming. And all the monks again bowed down. And they thought, this is not Lama Disha, he cannot have all these keys, right? So they could not identify, actually he was Lama Disha, because whether you are a big scholar, small scholar, it doesn't matter. Even the kitchen work, it is by rotation. Even if the biggest of the scholar, you also have to go to the kitchen to cook food for everybody. And by turn, you also become the storekeeper. So Lama Disha was storekeeper at the time. For us, storekeeper means somebody who is not learned, who is not educated, so given this small work. No, everybody by rotation you have to do that work. Okay. So finally, then how they discovered Lama Disha was that that beggars all come together, and there was one morning, beggars all coming together, and then the one monk came to distribute food. And the beggar was saying, Srigyana, Srigyana, I do not get. Then they realized this is Lama Disha Devang Srigyana. You got it, then identified. Then they went to him confidentially and made a request. Then Lama Disha Devang Srigyana, right at the beginning, he already knew that they came to invite him. He already knew. And he was keeping a very low profile so that nothing goes wrong. Then in Bodh Gaya, in the main temple, Bodh Gaya, when Lama Disha Devang Srigyana, I shared this story last time. When Lama Disha Devang Srigyana was circumambulating around the stupa, he could hear the sounds of the anklets, with the anklets. And of course, this is boys don't use that, only girls. So the Lama Disha Devang Srigyana, he was not looking at the back, he was just going. And from behind, he could hear, Adisha, you don't want to look at your mother. He turned back, it was Aretara. And then Lama Disha Devang Srigyana, for him. That's very strange. One thing that I want to share with you is that Aretara is somebody who, the great scholars, Buddhist scholars, like the story of Lama Disha Devang Srigyana, in the South India, in my monastery, for example, say the great teachers, abbots, former abbots, my own teacher, Venerable Geshe, Pandit Rinpoche, who Venerable Tenzin Vasila, they went to receive blessings and receive teachings privately. All these, they have special connection with Aratara. This is very, 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 this is so unique. And the monks, they spent, before the debate session, they spent about a minimum 1.5 hours reciting the Aratara praise every day, except on Monday, that was the day off. Otherwise, whenever there's a debate, 1.5 hours just recite the praise to Aratara. This is something so unique. All the great masters, somehow they connected with Aratara. Look, the Lama Disha, he just communicated with Aratara like the son and the mother. Then he asked, so I'm being invited to come to Tibet, shall I go or not? Then Aratara said, of course you must go. If you go, the Buddha Dharma in Tibet will really thrive so well. Number two, that your many lifetime students, upasaka meaning a layperson, who received the layperson vow, the Pratimoksha vow. So even that upasaka is waiting for you. There is no clue who that his student was, lifelong student, never met in this life. Then finally, Lama Disha met with the Tibetan delegate. And then Lama Disha said that for the Indian masters to go to Tibet, there should be two purposes. One, with a pure thought to spread the Buddha Dharma there. And for me to go to Tibet, I don't see that I have that capacity to spread the Buddha Dharma in Tibet, number one. Number two, some masters, scholars go there for fundraising, for the monastery and so forth, for fundraising. In Tibet in those days was seen as a fundraising place, where it is full of gold, silver and so forth. And I don't have any intention for gold, silver and so forth. So for those two reasons, there's no reason why I should visit Tibet. But for another two reasons, I see the need to come to Tibet. One, that your king, Lama Yeshu, he is a great bodhisattva who gave his life to invite me to Tibet for Buddha Dharma, who gave his life, who died in prison. He is a great bodhisattva. So if I don't accept your invitation, I commit the infraction meaning downfall. I commit the downfall of not listening to the advice of a bodhisattva, great bodhisattva. He is a great bodhisattva. So for this, I have no choice. But because of the instruction coming from such a great bodhisattva, I cannot say no, number one. Number two, how you, the Tibetans, how you dedicated fully, coming all the way from Tibet to India, and then being so resilient all these several weeks and months, just to meet me and extend this invitation. I feel real feeling of compassion towards you. So for those two reasons, and I know that how many Tibetans are waiting for me, although I don't have the capacity, but they're waiting for me out of their trust on me. For these two reasons, I see the reason that I should go to Tibet. So, of course, sought permission from Aritara, so decided to leave. And then finally, when Lama Disha came to Tibet, Aritara, already one month passed, still no upasaka. Upasaka meaning the disciple who was his disciple since many lifetimes. Still no upasaka. Aritara cannot be wrong. Aritara is omniscient one, Buddha, a female Buddha. She cannot be wrong. So what? But the reality, she said that I'm going to meet this, but no one, upasaka, came to see me. And then actually, Damdul Gyojuna, who was already on his way, coming all the way from there, from the eastern Tibet side, coming all the way to central Tibet. In those days, no cars, no aeroplanes, nothing. Walking. So, and then finally, two of them met. And Damdul Gyojuna actually himself was a great teacher, a lay teacher, a great teacher, but he knew that my teacher is coming, from many lifetimes teacher coming. And if you come to know about the more detailed stories, you see that the Damdul Gyojuna, he himself was a great emanation of Avalokiteshvara. And connection of these two, they were like many lifetimes teacher, student, many lifetimes, not only one time. And then since the time they met, Lama Damdul Gyojuna was always saying the teacher, the Lama Disha, he was sleeping on the bed and Damdul Gyojuna was sitting on the floor next to the teacher for whole life till Lama Disha passed away. And then, as a memory of his teacher, he always burns a light. So he sleeps, and on the say table, he always lights a lamp, symbolic of his teacher. The light is wisdom. The teacher who gave him the wisdom. So this is Damdul Gyaltsab. So the Damdul Gyaltsab, then he became extremely great teacher with so many students, and he already had many students from his homeland, and then visitors from homeland, they would come to visit Lama Shrigyana, and their own teacher, Damdul Gyaltsab, and they would give the information to Damdul Gyaltsab. Damdul Gyaltsab would also ask what is he doing, and so forth. And the visitor would say, oh, this your student, this one, he's doing so much to the Buddha Dharma, giving teachings all the time. Damdul Gyaltsab said that, very good, very good, very good. And what about, oh, that other student, he's meditating all the time. Very good, very good, very good. Then what is this teacher doing? Oh, this is engaged in the, say, Mundo practice. Mundo practice meaning, say, the preliminary practices. Very good, very good, very good. And what is this student doing? Then so, we don't know about this student. This student is always seen, say, just go into the forest and take some steps, walk, and then stop there and cry. Again come back, again stop, cry. Then Damdul Gyaltsab folded his hand and said that this is the one who is actually practicing the real Buddha Dharma. All others are very good, very good. But this is the one who is actually doing the real Buddha Dharma. You're getting it? So what was that student doing? That student was actually meditating Boddhicitta. Wherein Boddhicitta, think of all sentient beings, could feel the pain of sentient beings, like the way the mother feels the pain when the children, they are sick. And he was crying. Again coming back, thinking of the two methods, the sinful causative method and the method of equalizing exchanges for others. Again coming back, again stop, crying, and again take another few steps, again stop, cry. So Damdul Gyaltsab, this is the one who is actually meditating on the real Buddha Dharma. He was meditating on Boddhicitta. Okay, so we'll stop here. Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. 3 prostrations.